Good morning. In this week we start the book of Vayikra, the new book Leviticus. Parashat Vayikra starts with Hashem calling to Moshe. And the Torah tells us, Vayikra el Moshe. And he called to Moshe, V'yedaber Adonai elav me'ohel moed lemor. And Hashem spoke to him from the tent of meeting, saying, this tent of meeting, the Mishkan, that was built throughout the whole second half of the book of Shemot as the home for Hashem, so to speak. Hashem speaks to Moshe from there. And Rashi points out, the Torah says he called to Moshe. When Hashem called, he called specifically to Moshe. And in fact, he says it was limited to Moshe. This is what Rashi says here. Hakol holech umegia lo oznav. The voice went and reached his ears. V'chol Yisrael lo shomim. However, the entire Jewish people did not hear. So Hashem called, but only Moshe heard. Then Rashi says a little bit later, Yachol, and then he says how the voice stopped and nobody else heard it. Yachol mipnei shakol namuch. You might think that nobody heard this voice because it was soft. Talmud lomar et hakol. Therefore, the Torah tells us, no, it describes it as the voice, not just a voice. It was the voice. Ma'u hakol, what is the voice? Hu hakol mitparesh b'Teilim. That is the voice that is spoken about in the book of Tehillim, the book of Psalms, that King David wrote about, that we read on a Friday night. Kol Hashem b'koach, kol Hashem b'hadar, kol Hashem shober arazim. The voice of Hashem is strong, the voice of Hashem is majestic, the voice of Hashem breaks the cedar trees. This is the powerful, strong voice of Hashem. This is not just a voice. And yet, only Moshe heard the voice. Nobody else heard the voice. And Rabbi Moshe Feinstein asks, why is it so? Why is it important to tell us? Everything that the Torah says is important for us to know. Why is it important for us to know that only Moshe heard the voice and nobody else heard the voice? Or that it was a loud voice but still only Moshe heard it? And he says, because the point is that what Hashem said, he was not only saying to Moshe. What Hashem said, he was saying to every single Jewish person. It's just that Moshe was the only one who could hear it. And he says it's true with many things, and it's a very important point. It's not that Hashem told Moshe so that Moshe would tell the Jewish people and that it would be coming from Moshe. It was not coming from Moshe. It was coming from Hashem. Hashem told the whole Jewish people. It's just that none of them could hear it. And therefore he asked Moshe to let them know that this was a message addressed to them. And the relevance and practical nature of this for us right now is we need to know that when the Torah is spoken, when the Torah is said to us, Kol Yisrael. I don't think that when he speaks about this word going to all of Israel, it means only all of Israel in that generation. I think what is being communicated here is that these words are being said to all of Israel for all of time. These words are being said to you right now. It's just that you can't hear it. Moshe can hear it. Moshe heard it in that moment. That was the moment when that entire Torah, when it was heard. But it's been communicated all the time. And it's been communicated to you. And Rabbi Moshe Feinstein says, what's the difference? He says, because if it was said to Moshe being communicated, it's a different thing. It's a different thing, but that's not the case over here. That this was being said to you. He says it's the same thing we speak about Mount Sinai. We say that every soul, there's an idea that many of the commentaries say that every soul was present at Mount Sinai. And every soul was there and heard the giving of the Torah. And he says, Rabbi Moshe Feinstein says, what difference does it make? At the end of the day, you don't remember it. He says it's true you don't remember it, but you are able to be reminded of it. You don't know it, but what we're telling you is not just that your ancestors were there, but that you're there. Not just that it's relevant to some other people. It's relevant to you also. This is a part of you. This is a part of who you are. And that is the same with all of Torah. And we need to develop within ourselves a sense. We need to expose ourselves to the Torah in a way that we can see that the Torah is relevant and the Torah speaks to our lives. And sometimes it requires a little bit of work. It's not obvious. Now, sages actually compare the Torah to a relationship, to a romantic relationship. We sing every Friday night, Eshet Chayil Mi Yimtza, the woman of valor. Who can find such a woman? In other words, what a precious thing. It's not saying, can you find her? No, it's saying, what a precious thing, what a special thing to have the special holy woman in your life. And I say, apart from the simple meaning that it's referring to indeed connecting to such an Eshet Chayil, they say it's like that's actually speaking about the Torah. That our relationship with the Torah is analogous to our relationship with somebody special to us. And the Tiferet Yisrael, one of the commentaries on the Mishnah, he says that actually, as you learn Torah, he says, it is like getting to know somebody a little bit better. Imagine you're going on a date with a person. He says the first time you go on a date with them, you don't speak about their deepest thing. You don't speak about their heart and soul and their deepest desire and their greatest fear. You don't know them that well yet. You speak about things and what they like and what they don't like and generalities and their family. But you don't touch on the essence of the person. Once you've built up a trust, and once they feel safe with you, and once they know that you're genuinely interested in them as a person, second time, the third time, whatever it is, he says, until eventually it reaches a stage where you are so connected and in sync that you no longer hold any secrets from one another. And that ultimately, he says, is marriage. That you are completely open with the other person about who you are. Not to say that you have to tell everybody everything all the time. That's really a different discussion. But the idea is that you're not holding back out of reticence. You're not holding back out of a lack of faith or trust in the relationship. And the Tiferet Yisrael says that's the same thing when it comes to studying Torah. When we study Torah, it's not that now I'm going to learn it and read it and understand it. I'm going to spend hours working on Hamlet and then I'm going to get insights into Hamlet. It's not like that. It's a relationship with the Torah. The Torah, Hashem is speaking to you through the Torah. But if you want to access, if you want to hear that, if you want to see how it relates to your life, it's not enough simply to treat it as information. You have to engage in a relationship and you have to invest. You open a book and you look at it. Right? You call up a friend and say, tell me something deep about you. Doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. It's through creating and forging and investing in that relationship. And that's the same thing with Torah. Hashem is speaking to you. Hashem is speaking to me. Hashem is speaking to all of us. Only Moshe heard it. But we are able to tap into and access that and see how Hashem is speaking to us and see how it's relevant in our lives. If we show that we are worthy of that trust and we are invested in that relationship. Have a wonderful Shabbos.